Let me shift here, and I just want to talk a little bit about silence. Silence, my sisters and brothers, has many dimensions. There is a sacred silence, which is that silence out of which creative contemplation grows. It's a meditation on the word and the will of God. It's the silence out of which we meditate and get closer to God. It's the silence in which fervent prayer is born. There is a sacred silence. But then there's a seething silence that comes when you are quiet externally, but you've got a storm going on the inside. The late Dr. Howard Thurman called that a noisy quietness. But then finally, and here's the silence I want to get to, there is a sinful silence. And Adam's silence falls into this category because a sinful silence is a silence that comes over you when you ought to say something, but you don't say nothing at all. It is that silence that creeps in when you ought to speak up for God, but you sit there acting like you don't know what God said. My sisters and brothers, I fear that Adam was not only silent on that fateful day in the garden when a serpent showed up, but Adam has remained silent through the centuries. When Africans were captured and taken from their homeland, packed in the hulls of ships, sold on auction blocks, beat and killed and misused and kept in shadow slavery, Adam was silent. When Jews were persecuted, deported, and murdered by Nazis, Adam was silent. When Native Americans were slaughtered in the acts of genocide so their land could be taken from them, Adam was silent. When our ancestors were lynched and called boy and girl, even though they were full grown, when they were denied employment and equal access to resources, Adam was silent. And today, far too often, when our boys are shooting and killing each other on the streets, and our girls suffer from low self-esteem and give birth to children whose daddies won't stay around to take care of them, Adam is still silent. Sisters and brothers, there is a sinful silence among us when injustice is raging and we remain quiet. When people are aching, when people are hurting, when babies are crying and dying of hunger and not having enough love from insufficient care, and we remain silent, that is a sinful silence. When the church looks and sees what's going on in its communities, and not just in its communities, but what's going on right there in the household of faith, and we sit there and act like we don't know what's going on, that is a sinful silence. And let me suggest that there's a time when silence is sinful. And here in the text, we see a snake talking to Adam's wife. Adam remains silent. Adam should have said something. My sisters and brothers, the nation is waiting for somebody to say something. Go on, touch your neighbor and tell them you ought to say something. You see them boys on the corner, you ought to say something. You see what's happening with those sisters. I'm not talking about Pookie and Ray Ray and them. I'm talking about the saints' children. Y'all ain't gonna help me in here today. You ought to say something. The classroom is waiting for somebody to say something. Youth violence is waiting for somebody to say something. Every community, every city, every town, every home, every boy, every girl, every family is waiting for the church to break the silence. And if we don't break the silence, let me tell you what's going to happen. If we don't break the silence, we end up embracing the appeals of the serpent. What are the appeals of the serpent? Hey, family. Peace and blessings to you. Good morning. Happy Monday. All right now. Rep your city, rep your town. You've got a responsibility to go back to Lodabar. Your work's not done just because you made it to the palace. Rep your city, rep your town. Responsibility to help somebody else make it across. Thank you, Jesus. Don't pull up the ladder because you climbed to the top. Good morning, good morning. Because you made your way across. Thank you, Jesus. But reach your hand back down the ladder and pull somebody else up out of Lodabar. We get the gram on here. Thank you, Jesus. Peace to the gram. Thank you, Jesus. Get the Twitter space up in here. Let's see. That's the name of the Lord. Somebody gotta tell themselves it's all right if you got it now. Just hold it for me. Twitter space is live. After a while. Oh, bless the name of the Lord. Thank you, Jesus. You got to make up in your mind. Good morning, everybody. Rep your city, rep your town. I might not have it right now. May not get it next week. You might try to stop me from getting it. But if God said it's mine, I want you to know after a while, I'm going to get what belongs to me. All right. Let's go. What you got to, so you don't depend on yourself. Hey, baby girl. You got to take away from you so you understand how to depend on El Shaddai. Come on in here. All right. Let's get it. Thank you, Jesus. Our young people are dying. Ready to go. Crackdown. Suicide. Homicide. They'll kill you at the drop of a dime. Our jails are full. Yet the crime still runs rampant. Let me see. There we go. Sometimes God got to strip what you got to, so you don't depend on yourself. Thank you, Jesus. 90.7 WTCC. Good morning and welcome to another edition of the Spoken Word. I'm your host, Bishop Talbert Swan II. And as usual, I'll be telling it like it is through cultural idioms and nuances that shape the order, ethos, and chaos of the African American experience. Words have their own vitality. They shape their own consciousness and create their own context for interpreting social and spiritual reality. The spoken word contains the power to reshape the landscape of society. 5 minutes past the hour of 9 a.m. And I want to thank Elder Rick Robinson for bringing us up into the 9 o'clock hour.
um, with great Monday morning inspirational music. Good way to start out your Monday morning. Great way to start out your week. You can tune in to him every Monday morning from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. Listen. It's been a great week for me, and for the saints of the greater Massachusetts jurisdiction of the Church of God in Christ as we convened our 25th annual Holy Convocation, which was a time of education, empowerment, inspiration, fellowship. It was just a wonderful meeting, good preaching all week, great empowerment sessions, youth presentations. The choir was the bomb.com. I mean, everything. The food after, everything. I'm going to do a formal thank you, but I want to thank all of the saints, all of the pastors and the officers of the jurisdiction, to our supervisor of the women's department, Mother Carolyn Roberson, to my wife, to just to everybody. I don't want to get to naming names because then I'll mess up and not call somebody. But you know that I love you and I appreciate you, and we'll be putting out a formal thank you to each of you for making the 25th one to remember. 413-736-2781, 413. While we're in the middle of the convocation, I found out my name made the list. Y'all, my name made the list. Ain't that something? Y'all say, what list you talking about? Yeah, well, I found out um, several years ago, I made the list of black identity extremists. That was a new category when Jeff Sessions became the Attorney General under the first Trump administration. They stopped. They stopped investigations of white supremacists, even though Christopher Wray, who was Trump's appointed FBI director, said the greatest terrorist threat in America are white supremacist males. But they stopped investigating white supremacist males, and they started a new category called black identity extremists. I made that list, kind of. I mean, I took it as a badge of honor, kind of like those who were surveyed under COINTELPRO, the counterintelligence program of the U.S. government under FBI Director J. Edgar Hoover. So it was cool. It was cool. But this list is different. They're compiling a list of people who have been speaking about the Nolan Wells case. And they started raising money, and they've raised hundreds of thousands. And that's one thing white folk will do, white supremacists will do. They'll raise some money for folk. They don't care how wrong they're. Y'all remember the lady who called the young black boy a nigger and harassed an 8-year-old black boy? She put up a crowdfunding page saying they're harassing me, and white folks raised that lady like $1 million. She got paid $1 million for calling a black boy a nigger. They raised money for Derek Chauvin, the cop who murdered George Floyd. They don't care. They will lock arms, activate and start raising money when it comes to protecting their fellow white supremacists. I got my water, little baby girl. I got my water. They'll lock arms. So in the Nolan Wells case, his 3 white friends, they started a crowdfunding for them because they anticipate some legal. Why y'all anticipate legal proceedings? If they didn't do anything wrong, why are y'all? I see my good friend Pastor Mike McBride. Y'all support that brother right there. Give him a follow. Um, if they didn't do anything wrong, what you raising money for them for? Help me understand that. But anyway, so they created this list of folks that they're going to target, supposedly, allegedly, they're going to target and sue, and I see it as nothing but an intimidation tactic. Um, and so I made the list. They had me at number 8. I'm offended that I'm only number 8. I preached the message yesterday uh, under that title. I made the list. Go and listen to it on YouTube. But I'm gonna talk about that. I'm gonna talk about this list that's circulating, um, that contains more than 90 names of folk that they're targeting, basically trying to silence, trying to keep quiet, because that's what they do. They try to keep us quiet and silence us. In any case, keep it locked right here. Tell a friend, tell somebody. Bishop is on the air. Welcome. Those of you on YouTube, those of you on Facebook, those of you on the Twitter space, they're still suppressing my Instagram page. Instagram, which used to do at least 200-300 people, has done single digits for weeks now. While it's a strange thing that they're doing. Let me see. We got what we got. What we got in Facebook. We got 257 in our Facebook church. Let me see what we're doing on the tube. I don't know why they're targeting Instagram like that, but obviously they don't want that audience to hear what we got to say. So the shadow banning continues. I got a couple hundred in the YouTube space. Now, YouTube used to do way more than that as well, so they may be shadow banning that as well. And then we got about 600 or so on Twitter, but they're not stopping the thousands that we have over these 4,000 watts, reaching across Massachusetts, Vermont, Connecticut into New York. So the message continues. Keep it locked right here, 90.7. Tell a friend, tell somebody. Bishop is on the air right now, and they want to lock in and be part of this conversation. As we're going to talk about this list, we're going to talk about Nolan Wells. We're going to talk family, so keep it locked right here. Don't you dare stop. We'll be right back.
Life is growth, but the essence of growth is change. The being in the road will be the end of the road if you refuse to change. Reach a little higher, reach a little higher, dig a little deeper, dig a little deeper, go a little further, go a little further. Come on, come on, come on. Reach a little higher, come on, yeah. Dig a little deeper, dig a little deeper, go a little further, go a little further.
All right, let's go. That's right. I see you, Detroit.
But the essence of growth is change.
Detroit is in the building. I see the field is in here. The 413 is representing. All right, Portugal is up in the building. I was just in Portugal. Had a great time while I was there. Yes. Houston, Texas is up in the house. Springfield, y'all representing today. Thank you. Thank you. Rock Island, Illinois. What's happening? Y'all say hello to my daughter. She's in from Chicago. The CT is in the building, representing Connecticut. Good morning. Atlanta is in the house. St. Louis is up in here. Cincinnati is in here. Charlotte is in here. Raleigh, North Kakalaki is up in the building. Good morning. Good morning. I see you, Nathaniel Anderson, the 4, the 1, and the 3. Yes, I see you, Long Island. Arizona is up in the house. Yeah. Canada, Quebec is up in here. Johannesburg. Yes, good morning to everybody from everywhere. Do me a favor, like, share, subscribe. Let me know where you're chiming in from. I see you from Long Island. I see you, little baby girl. Rochester is in the house. Buffalo is in the house. I got upstate New York up in the building. Yes. Good morning, everybody. Appreciate y'all. Appreciate you.
Come on. You gotta understand.
All right. They saying hey to you on the gram too, Whit. I know you can't see the gram. Good morning.
I look in the mirror and I like what I see. A strong, beautiful black woman staring back at me. One who's seen a lot of pain and had her share of sorrow, but who never gave up hope for a brighter tomorrow. I've been lied to, cheated on, stolen from and hit, but it just made me stronger and I refuse to quit. That's right. And though I've been tempted, I refuse to stoop to their level. Don't go down. I rose above that nonsense and made a liar of the devil. All right now. The devil who said
I see you, Florida.
Cute enough or worthy of love. I kicked his butt with divine power from above. Power that says I can do all things through Christ, which strengthens me, and brought me out of darkness so that I could see that I'm smart, I'm beautiful, I'm a child of the King. Abundant love from me he came to bring. Yeah. Oh yes, when I look in the mirror, I love what I see. She's looking good. That strong, beautiful black woman, that woman is me.
I feel you, little baby girl. You keep telling me that. You keep telling me that.
The views and opinions expressed on this program are solely those of the participants and do not necessarily reflect those of the staff or management of WTCC Radio or Springfield Technical Community College.
90.7 WTCC. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning to you, and to yours. So many of y'all have checked in from so many places. Detroit, Houston, Atlanta, Raleigh, Cincinnati, St. Louis, Long Island, Chicago, Arizona, Quebec, Johannesburg. The 413 is up in the building. Rock Island, Illinois is up in the building. Good morning to everybody from everywhere who is rocking with us on today. Love the fact that y'all rock with me like this, so I appreciate you so very, very much. Tell a friend, tell somebody. Bishop is on the air right now. Like, share, subscribe, do all of that stuff as we get into our conversation. I'm being told I'm being told what to do by a little baby girl. I'm used to women telling me what to do, so I'm all right. I'm all right. Kenya is in here. Mombasa, Kenya is up in the building. That may be the furthest away. That's on the stream right now, unless somebody else can check in from somewhere else. Let me know where y'all in. About 600 of y'all in the Twitter space. Let me know in the comment section where y'all are chiming in from. Appreciate you. 413-736-2781 is the number here if you want to chime in on the conversation. So listen. So as I stated, there's a list. There's a list circulating. All right? There's a list that's going around. And it's connected to the Nolan Wells case. And it contains more than 90 names. Content creators, commentators, public figures, pastors, you name it. People who have discussed the case. And the claim accompanying the list is that these are people whose information is allegedly being forwarded to the lawyers of the families of the three young white men who traveled to Horn Island with Nolan Wells for possible legal action against them. And as I stated, they got my name on the list. Yeah, they got my name. I call your name. Anyway, now before anybody deliberately misrepresents what I have said, let me make the record clear. I have never accused those three young men of killing Nolan Wells. I've never declared them to be guilty of a crime. I've not built my commentary around publicly even calling their names. I have never even called any of their names. But what I have done is the same thing that journalists and advocates and clergy and concerned citizens, and especially the family of a deceased young man, have every right to do. I've asked questions. I've asked questions. I preached a message 2 weeks ago. Who's afraid of the questions? Only people scared of questions being asked are those who are scared of what the answers might be or what the answers are going to lead to. I've asked questions about the publicly reported accounts, the inconsistencies surrounding what happened, the suspicious nature of his death, the fact that there has been no conclusion that has been reached regarding the cause of his death. I've questioned the circumstances around his cell phone reportedly leaving the island without him. I've questioned the account that he supposedly chose to remain behind and would find a ride home. I've questioned why, under that account, a young man supposedly left alone on an island would be left without his telephone. Why wouldn't his friends bring it back to him? That's his means of communication. And none of these questions constitute a declaration of anybody's guilt. They are questions, and questions are not accusations. So when I see my name placed on a list of people allegedly facing legal action, I have to ask another question. What's the objective? What's the objective of this list? Because if the objective is to correct demonstrably false factual statements, identify the statements and address them. But when people who have simply questioned publicly reported circumstances are swept onto a list and the word lawsuit is waved over everybody's head, sometimes it can have a chilling effect on people. Now, I'm a different animal because this ain't my first rodeo. I've been down this path before. But the message that they're trying to send to people is, you better stop talking. You better stop asking questions. You better stop scrutinizing. Stop digging, or this could cost you. It could cost you your reputation, could cost you money. It could cost you. And that's where this story becomes bigger than Nolan Wells. It becomes a story about power and dissent and trying to silence dissent. Now, I recognize the tactic because, as I stated, this is not my first rodeo. Jerry Falwell Jr. once publicly told me that I better recant something or I'm going to face legal action. And then he punctuated his threat with, I'm serious. It was a whole debate where he talked um, gun control, and he threatened me with legal action, and he's a lawyer, and that was, I want to say that was about 2019. 7 years later, I haven't recanted what I said yet, and no legal action has been brought as of yet. Brett Favre, former NFL quarterback, had his attorneys send me a threatening letter because of my commentary about the Mississippi welfare scandal. Me talking about what had been publicly reported. Yeah, Favre got paid $1 million for speaking engagements that he didn't go to. Got another $5 million directed to his daughter's school to help put up a building. All out of welfare money that was earmarked for poor children in Mississippi, particularly poor black children. And I, along with a whole bunch of other people, have talked about that. And he threatened to sue. Okay. Lawsuit still hasn't come. And shout out to Attorney James Walker, who stood up for me pro bono in the Brett Favre threat. I talked about when Diamond from Diamond and Silk passed away, and she had complications from COVID-19 after she and her sister were on the Trump bandwagon castigating Dr. Fauci and talking about not wearing masks and yada, yada, yada. And so Silk, her sister, threatened me when I commented publicly. She said, if I don't take it down by midnight, there's going to be a lawsuit. Still waiting on the lawsuit. Even y'all's vice president, J.D. Vance, threatened legal action over something I posted on social media. Peep that. The vice president of the United States threatened me with legal action for defamation of him if I didn't take it down. It's still up. It's still up. So this ain't the first time. Different people, different circumstances, different disputes. But I learned something from every one of them. A legal threat is not a legal judgment. And it's not an answer to an argument or a debate. I respect the law. And if I get something factually wrong, show me the evidence and I'll deal with the facts. If I falsely accuse somebody, hold me accountable for what I actually said. See, freedom of speech doesn't mean freedom from responsibility, and I'll take full responsibility if I get it wrong. But responsibility works both ways. You can't attribute words to me that I never spoke and then demand that I defend them, because I never called any of these boys names. You can't transform my questions into accusations simply because the questions make y'all feel uncomfortable. Okay? And I'm not going to allow the mere invocation of lawyers and litigation to frighten me or to punk me out of legitimate public commentary. I've been doing this too long. I'm not the one. I ain't the one. I'm not the one. No, I've been on the air for 26 years. 26. All right? I've been preaching for 46 years. Yeah, I'm a little older than I look. Preaching for 46 years. I've been on the radio for 26 years. So speaking publicly It's something that I've been doing for nearly 5 decades. Wow, that sounds like a long time, even to me. But in any case, I've been doing it too long. So this intimidation stuff, it doesn't work with some of us. I'm sure some folk probably feel real frightened by their name being on that list. I'm not one of them. But this isn't anything new, because as black people, we know something about intimidation. History enters the conversation because, um, um, you know, black people have been agents of dissent for a long time, and have always known what it means when they dissent, when they go against the grain, when they oppose the empire. Frederick Douglass knew what it meant to challenge a system that was powerful enough to legally recognize him as property. Ida B. Wells knew what it meant when she was investigating lynching and exposing the lies behind racial terror. She knew it put her life in danger. That's why a white mob destroyed the office of the Memphis Free Speech and made threats that if she returned to Memphis, she would forfeit her life. They knew what it meant to speak up, to ask questions. W.E.B. Du Bois knew they were watching him. He knew the federal government were watching him. And then they even tried to prosecute him, unsuccessfully, but they tried to prosecute him as an unregistered foreign agent. These tricks that they do today are not new. It's from the same old playbook. If you go from there to the modern civil rights movement, and the tactics remain the same but became a little more sophisticated. Dr. Martin Luther King was subjected to extensive FBI surveillance. His phones were tapped. His rooms were bugged. His private life was monitored. The FBI sent him an anonymous letter that was designed to psychologically destroy him and asked him to kill himself. I mean, the government that today celebrates Dr. King with a federal holiday once treated him as a threat requiring surveillance, and many believe was culpable in his murder. Malcolm X also was surveilled. The Black Panther Party was infiltrated. Fred Hampton was monitored, infiltrated, and then killed. Fannie Lou Hamer was beaten. Medgar Evers was assassinated. Civil rights organizations were under surveillance and disrupted and manipulated and infiltrated under COINTELPRO. The methods changed, but the objective was the same. Make resistance expensive. Silence people at all costs. Make speaking out very costly. Make organizing dangerous. Make questioning authority frightening. Make the individual look at consequences and conclude that maybe being silent is safer than speaking truth to power. That's an old tactic. They've been doing it for a long time. And understand something important. I'm not saying that receiving a threatened lawsuit in 2026 is equivalent to what happened to Dr. King or Fannie Lou Hamer or Medgar Evers or any of that. History deserves precision. But what I am saying is there's a recognizable principle that is running through the history of suppression. That power frequently attempts to raise the cost of dissent until the dissenters voluntarily silence themselves. So you don't have to win a lawsuit if the threat of the lawsuit makes everybody shut up. You don't have to win the lawsuit if filing a lawsuit makes people quit because they can't afford to go to court. You don't have to imprison people if the possibility of prosecution scares them enough to stop what they're doing. You don't have to silence every activist if frightening several activists convinces 100 more to remain quiet. That's the game that they're playing. And that's why this type of intimidation has to be confronted. It has to be challenged. We have to speak boldly about it. And so this moment requires resilience. It requires resilience and it requires discipline. Now, resilience doesn't mean recklessness. We're not, and that's the thing, we're not out here manufacturing the facts. That's what they do. They tell bold-faced lies. They tell you George Floyd died of a fentanyl overdose. Even though their coroner, their medical examiner concluded that it was a homicide. But they tell the lies often enough, repeat it often enough, and dummies believe it. That's their tactic. We don't do that. We don't manufacture facts. We don't spread rumors. We don't declare people guilty without evidence. We don't turn suspicion into certainty because it confirms something that we believe. We've been saying all along, everybody needs to be questioned. Every stone needs to be turned. There needs to be a thorough, independent investigation because there is a history, particularly in Mississippi, of covering up the facts when black people wind up dead. That's just a fact. That history exists. Like it or not. So we know that if we want our voices to withstand intimidation, we've got to be committed to accuracy, more so than the people who are trying to silence us. So we say what we know. We identify what we know. We separate fact from opinion. We distinguish allegations from proof, and then we correct mistakes if they occur. So people have been pulling out the receipts. They've been documenting the sources, and they've been asking the questions. And so this has been honest dissent. But they don't care that it's been honest dissent. They want us to be quiet. And that's what this list is all about. Y'all be quiet now. If y'all don't shut up, we gonna sue you. We're gonna make you have to pay some money. We're gonna put your name on the list. We're gonna try to sully your reputation. All of that stuff is what they do. But we can't be intimidated. We've got to recover the resilience of the ancestors. Because too many of our freedoms we take for granted, sometimes forgetting that they exist because somebody before us refused to be frightened. If Rosa Parks had been intimidated, what would have happened to Montgomery? If Fannie Lou Hamer had been intimidated, what would have happened to voting rights organizing in Mississippi? If Dr. King had been intimidated, what would have happened to Birmingham and Selma and the Voting Rights Act? If Ida B. Wells had been intimidated, who would have documented the barbarity of lynching? Every generation inherits freedoms that's been purchased by somebody else's courage. And the question in this moment of a fascist, racist, authoritarian takeover of the U.S. government by the Mango Mussolini, who now sits in the White House, and his MAGA demons, are we going to have the courage that purchases freedoms for generations that come behind us? Or are we going to let them down by allowing them to frighten us into silence? What are we going to do? And that brings me back to Nolan Wells. Because underneath all of the personalities, all of the posts, all of the arguments, the threats, the lists, the social media noise, there's something that we cannot afford to forget. A young man is dead. Okay? His name is Nolan Wells. His family buried somebody before their 19th birthday. Matter of fact, August 19th would have been his 19th birthday. His parents deserve answers. And the objective should not be whether or not we prove somebody guilty or to prove somebody innocent through social media campaigns. The objective should be much simpler and much more sacred. Let's find out what happened. Follow the evidence wherever it goes, whoever it implicates. If evidence eliminates suspicion, let it eliminate suspicion. If evidence creates additional questions, ask the questions. If witnesses contradict one another, let's figure out why. If the timelines don't align, let's establish the real timeline. If there's digital evidence, let's examine it. If there's physical evidence, let's follow it. We can't be invested in protecting a particular narrative, a particular race, a particular personality. Yeah, let's protect the truth, because the truth doesn't have a skin color. It doesn't have a political party. Evidence doesn't belong to the Republicans or the Democrats. Facts don't need a public relations campaign. And justice can't begin with a predetermined destination and then manipulate the evidence until you arrive there. And that's the problem that we have. A predetermined destination of the innocence of certain people. And it looks like things have been manipulated so that it arrives at that destination. And so I've got a challenge for folks. I got a challenge for us. I'm going to take a short break, and I'm going to come back. I'm going to come back with a challenge for us, because there is a call to action of what we should be doing in this moment. 413-736-2781, 413-736-2781 is the number here if you want to chime in on the conversation. Let me see if I can, there we go. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Baby's baby got something to say. And Donald Glover said his best. This is America. Yeah. Hey! This is America. Ain't nothing really changed. Yeah, progress made, but they still move the same, just different names. This is America. They still treating us as three-fourths. Yeah. This is America, but we ain't taking it anymore. This is America, where the rich get richer and poor folks struggling just to make a dinner. Politicians smile while the people losing hope. Poor communities drowning while they selling us a rope. They say freedom ringing, but who really hearing bells? Kids getting murdered while they building private cells. Turn the news on, another mother crying tears. Another young black soul gone before his best years. Racism dressed up in a suit and tie. Hate got a microphone spreading every lie. They call it policy, we know it's designed to keep power and money in the same hands every time. Corporations buying souls and controlling votes. Truth getting buried while propaganda floats. Money over people, that's the American way. If you ain't got dollars, they don't care what you say. Hey, ain't nothing really changed. Yeah, progress made, but they still move the same, just different names. This is America. They still treating us as three-fourths, baby. This is America, but we ain't taking it anymore. Justice move blind, depending on your skin and your last name. Sometimes one man protesting labeled angry and dangerous, another storm the Capitol, somehow still patriots. Tell me how that worked, tell me how that felt. They fear our voices every time we aware. Divide and conquer, been the game for years. Keep us fighting each other while they profit off fears. Violence everywhere, blood on the concrete. Babies hearing gunshots before they learning beef. Schools underfunded, but prisons built fast. Then they wonder why the cycle keep repeating in the black. Discrimination still alive in disguise. Sometimes it ain't changed, sometimes it's denied. Denied for a loan, denied for a job, denied for a future while they applaud the mob. But we rising, rising. Yeah, the people waking up now. Too many truths exposed to cover up now. We tired of silence, tired of fake change, tired of hashtags while the pain remains. This is America. Name. This is America. They still treating us as three-fourths. Yeah. This is America, but we ain't taking it anymore. Oh. No more fear. No more fear. No more silence. No more silence. No more pretending hate don't exist. This is America. Hey. The people finally talking back.
All right. This is America. I wanted to get that one in there, definitely. Yeah, Nick Tyler is in the comment section, switching letters around. Basically, I'm assuming that might have been directed at me or somebody. He said Newfie Gigger. So basically, he's calling me or somebody a goofy nigger. I say to that, Nick, your mammy, your greasy granny, your orphan Annie, yeah, all that stuff. You're a grown man up in here, acting like a child. Grow up, man. Get a life. You know, it's 9 something in the morning. Go to work. Get a job. Go get some breakfast. Go eat some grits or something. Okay. All right. Anyway, 413-736-2781. My daughter said he's chimping out. He doing something. Ah, boy. 413-736-2781 is the number. We've been talking about this Nolan Wells case, this list that has been created to try to intimidate some of us, to keep us quiet. And we ain't going to be quiet. Somebody put that in the chat section. We will not be quiet. We will not be silent, okay? We ain't going to be silent. That's not what we gonna do. That's not what we've ever done. We ain't starting now. The ancestors sacrificed too much for us to be in this present day and age and to be silent. So that ain't gonna happen. So I told you, I wanted to kind of throw out there some steps in terms of a call to action. So here's my challenge. Here's my challenge to everybody listening today. First, don't allow intimidation to silence you. Okay? Don't allow it to turn you into a coward. Speak up. Speak up. We have a right to demand responsible investigation. We have a right to support Nolan Wells' family in their legitimate pursuit for transparency and for answers. So don't allow yourself to be frightened. Ask the questions, demand the answers. And when somebody tells you that your name made the list, like mine did, ask them one question. Why? Why did it make the list? What did it make the list for? If my name made the list because I lied, show me the lie. If it made the list because I falsely accused somebody, show me the accusation. Show me the evidence. But if my name made the list because I asked questions about the death of a young black man, because I said his parents deserve answers, because I demanded transparency, because I refused to be intimidated, then leave my name on the list where it is. Matter of fact, you can move it up. It's at number 8. You can move me up to number 1 if you want to. All right? Because my ancestors survived worse than somebody threatening to send me a letter or filing a lawsuit. My predecessors endured jail cells and fire hoses and dogs and bombings and surveillance and beatings and economic retaliation and assassination attempts so that I could inherit their voice. And I'm not going to dishonor their sacrifice by surrendering my voice simply because somebody mentioned lawsuit and put my name on the list. Okay? I'm not going to be frightened and I'm not going to be silent. Nolan Wells deserves the truth. His family deserves answers. And so does our community. So that's our challenge, brothers and sisters. Let's honor our ancestors because justice doesn't require us to know the answer before we ask the question. Matter of fact, that's the reason we ask the question, because we're trying to find out what the answer is. Justice requires us to keep asking until the truth answers back. And as of right now, the truth has not answered back. And we're going to keep on asking the questions until we get the truth. Bottom line, 413-736-2781 is the number here. St. Louis, checking in the building. Let's see, yeah. Appreciate you all checking in. We'll be back with you on Friday on the Black Love Experience. And we'll continue the conversation. We'll see where this whole list thing takes us, and we'll keep you updated in terms of what is happening with this. Matter of fact, let me see. Everybody on the list is not easily identifiable because a lot of them have been identified by simply by the name that they use on social media. And since I use my government name on social media, uh, they got my government name on the list. Good morning, caller.
Hey, nigger, how you doing?
How's your mama?
My mama's dead. Thanks for asking.
Oh, and that's unfortunate that she raised a clown like you.
No, she raised a good man.
No, she raised a knuckle dragging, thin lipped, lice headed, um, low IQ, um, um, trailer park trash racist. That's what your mama raised. Unfortunately, her uh, child upbringing skills were sorely lacked. God rest her soul. And I'm sure she would be ashamed of you calling in to the radio program. Now, the interesting thing is, I recognize your voice. You're the same clown who called my church. And the ironic thing about that is, we're going to trace this call too. The ironic thing about that is the FBI has already contacted me and let me know that they have already contacted you and are preparing to file charges. And yet here you are still harassing. You got nothing better to do than harass a black man. Get a job, man. Get a life, man. Get to know Jesus. I'm talking about the black Jesus, the dreadlock table flipping Jesus. Because obviously, that white, blonde hair, blue eyed Jesus that you call yourself worshiping has done absolutely nothing for you. Nothing for you because you're still a low life scumbag. But he can deliver you from that. All you got to do is confess with your mouth the Lord Jesus and believe in your heart that God has raised him from the dead, and you too can be saved. There's nobody beyond his reach. He can even reach way down in the gutter and scoop up trash like you and redeem you and turn your life around. Now, if you want to give your life to the Lord, I'm willing to lead you to the Lord right now. How about that?
The truth. I'm like,
How about that? How about that? Do you want to give your life to the Lord?
Jesus didn't come.
Do you want to give your life to the Lord? Do you want to give your life to the Lord? Do you want to you do you want to give your life to the Lord? You're not a preacher. You're not a preacher. You're a scumbag. Here's the thing. Here's the thing about it. You think there's power in you calling me a nigger. I don't answer to nigger because I'm not one. That you think that empowers you in some kind of way and it demeans me in some kind of way, but it doesn't. I'm Teflon when it comes to you using that term. And if that's the only term you got, it tells me exactly the kind of preacher that you are because you have a very limited vocabulary when that's the first thing you resort to is calling people names because there's nothing else in your vocabulary that you can use. Your level of intelligence is at rock bottom, so you can't have a regular conversation. You can't debate anybody, so you resort to making harassing phone calls, to calling churches and leaving racist messages. You are a pathetic excuse for a human being. You call yourself a preacher, you're a hybrid conundrum. You are a walking dichotomy. Somebody who calls himself a preacher but yet is a racist at the same time. Man, I feel bad for you. I feel sorry for your wife if you have one. I feel bad for your children. I feel bad for your dead mama who raised a scumbag like you. All right. Goodbye. 413-736-2781 is the number here if you want to chime in on the conversation. We'll definitely take your phone calls. Boy. Ooh, trailer park trash calling here talking about he's a preacher. Boy, please. Boy, please, please get a life. This is what I'm talking about. That man right there, if you go on my social media page, you can see another racist call it. 46-year-old white man, 46-year-old white man with nothing better to do than to make telephone calls to black people like that. Nothing better to do in his life. Good morning, caller. Good morning, caller.
You told him, brother. You told him. He didn't have nothing to say but blah, 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 You told him.
Yeah, there are limits to Cro-Magnon man's intelligence.
They're idiots and don't want to admit it.
Absolutely. Appreciate you, bro.
Her mother said they want to be, they'll tell you they right when they wrong, when they know they wrong.
Absolutely.
But listen, brother, you keep doing what you doing, man. All right? Fight the power.
All right, bro. Appreciate you. Good morning, caller.
Good morning. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I guarantee you, he won't call your number again.
Well, yeah, he will. He will. He will. The difference is he got to speak to me this time.
He wasn't expecting to hear that.
Yeah, he got to speak to me this time. The last time he called and left a message on the voicemail. This time he got the real person. Yeah, it's sad. And here's the thing. My wife and I were talking, and my wife is a therapist, and I was saying, how racism, it means people who do things like that are sick in the head, but I hate to categorize it as a mental illness because there are people who have real mental illness, and not that certain behavior is excusable, but you can understand certain behaviors based upon a mental illness. This is something different. This is wickedness. This is demonic. And this is why I've said things that they flipped out about on Fox News and stuff, that whiteness is an unrelenting demonic force of evil. Now, I said whiteness, the concept, the construct of whiteness and everything that goes with it, like that caller, not white people. And that's where they got bent out of shape, because they misconstrued what I said to mean white people. No, whiteness is an unrelenting, demonic force of evil. And that is the classic example of what I mean. That's the classic example of what I mean. When somebody is nearly a 50-year-old man, call themselves a preacher, and this is what they do in their pastime. Is that your pastor? Is that how many of y'all would still go to a church if your pastor called up black people on the radio to say, "Hey, nigger"? I mean, I feel bad for anybody up in that church if that's the kind of leadership that they're following. But this is the sickness of white supremacy. And he throws around that term as if that frightens somebody. Ain't nobody scared of the word nigger. Ain't nobody scared. Calling me a nigger don't say nothing about me, but it says everything about you. It tells the world not who I am, but it tells the world exactly who you are. All right, I got to get out your way. Got to get out your way. Good morning, caller.
Hey, nigger, how you doing?
How's your mama? Oh, she's still dead? Okay. Yeah, she's still dead? Okay. You will be one day too. And when you do die, you'll be going straight to hell with your mama. All right. I gotta go. I gotta go. I got to go. Listen, if you're looking for a place to worship, check us out at the Spring of Hope Church of God in Christ, 35 Alden Street, Bishop Talbert Swan Way, the Brick Church right there at Six Corners. 10 a.m. is Sunday school, 11 a.m. is morning worship, prayer, praise, and preaching. We're building better tomorrows by changing lives today. Saturday at 9 a.m. at our Brattleboro, Vermont location, 29 South Street, right there in Brattleboro, Vermont. Would love to see you. Come by and visit us one day. Check me out on Friday. I'll be back with the Black Love Experience. Coming up next is mid-morning jazz and great black music. So keep it locked right here on 90.7 FM WTCC. Good morning.
They told us to be quiet, told us to hush our mouths and bow our heads while America sharpened its teeth again. Told the black church to stay in its place, sing your hymns, shout your shouts, but don't you dare speak truth to power. But I hear the bones of the prophets rattling. I hear Amos pounding on the doors of sanctuaries gone soft. I hear Harriet's footsteps in the rafters. And I hear Jesus, the Jesus of Nazareth, not the mascot of white nationalism, crying out from Luke's scroll, the spirit